right? So in previous class, we are trying to discuss about that class level locking and object level locking. I hope you got the point. So what is a class level lock and what is object level lock, right? So if there is a synchronized instance method, if a class contains synchronized instance methods for all the synchronized instance method, so there will be a lock. If multiple threads are running, if one thread is got the object level lock, then the remaining threads are not able to execute instance synchronized method. But the remaining threads are having chance to execute static synchronized methods and static methods and instance methods, except synchronized instance methods. So this is related to object level locking. So I hope you got the point. So if multiple threads are running, suppose thread 1, thread 2, thread 3 like this. If multiple threads are running simultaneously, if a class contains so synchronized methods, if a class contains synchronized method M1, like synchronized method, I'm not writing the entire code. So synchronized method M2, then synchronized static M3 and synchronized static M4 and only static M5 and only instance M6. I'm not writing the return types also, right? So what is the object level locking? So object level lock means if multiple threads are executing on a single class and on top of a single object, if one thread is get a chance, if one thread got the lock of that object level lock, then object level lock will be applied on M1 and M2 only, not on M3 and M4. For M3 and M4, static level lock will be there, class level lock. So this is object level lock, and there is no locking concept on M5 and M6 methods. So because synchronization keyword, if synchronization keyword is there, then only class level, sorry, I think someone is waiting. Yeah, sorry. Right. So when there is a synchronized keyword, then only we will get the locking concept. Right. So synchronized keyword with instance method, object level locking. Synchronized keyword with static keyword, class level locking. So one thread is executing synchronized M1 method. Remaining threads are not allowed to execute synchronized M2 method only, but the remaining threads can execute either static synchronized methods or only static methods or instance method, no problem, right? Suppose, then what is a class level lock? We already discussed this one with examples. Just I am trying to recollect what we discussed in last class. Class level lock. So class level lock, same way, if multiple threads are executing, right? So if one thread is got the class level lock means it will apply on synchronized static methods. It will apply on synchronized static methods. If one thread got the static level lock, that is a class level lock, remaining threads are not allowed to execute that synchronized static methods. But remaining threads can execute either synchronized instance methods or static methods or instance methods. Here no problem. Right. So we discussed this one in previous class. Right. So we'll try to discuss a next topic, that is inter-thread communication. Do you have any doubts in this area? Class level lock, object level lock. So if you have a doubt, please go through that YouTube video one more time. Still you are having any doubts, please let me know. We'll discuss. No problem. Right. So we'll discuss the next topic. So that is inter-thread communication. So inter-thread communication means how two or more threads can communicate with each other. So how the threads will be communicate with each other. Right. So thread communication should be happened using these methods. Two or more threads can communicate with each other by using the below methods. So those are wait method, wait method, second one is notify method, third one is notify all method. So two or more threads communicate with each other by using below the method, by using this method. But these methods are not available in thread class. Right. So I hope you know we discussed about object class methods. So we discussed at the time. So we discussed some method like hash code method, equals method, get class method, clone method, right? So finalize method, right? ToString method. So we discussed all these methods, and I told you remaining methods like wait method with overloaded. So that is wait method with without parameter, with one parameter, with two parameters. And notify method, notify all method, we will discuss in inter-thread communications concept. Right. So now the inter-thread communication concept is came. Right. So these three methods, these three means total five methods are defined in object class, not in thread class. So why they defined in object class? Why not in thread class? Why? Because inter-thread communication should be happened through a some other object. So through that object only we need to share the data. Okay. To perform inter-thread communication, we required a third person. So the third person is object class in this case. So if two threads are there, if two threads want to communicate with each other, the communication should be happened through another object, that is a object class object. Right. So that's why they defined all these methods in the way object class. So object class is the shared object between those two threads. We'll discuss what is that sharing. Right. Right. So by using these three methods, two threads can communicate with each other. Right. Right. So suppose if you want to call any of these methods, you must call these methods from the synchronized area only. Synchronized area means maybe synchronized method or block. right? So bracket law. So we can call these methods only from synchronized area. So that means maybe synchronized method or synchronized block, right? Right. So why we need to call only from synchronized area? Why we need to call only from synchronized area? Right. So for performing, okay, by discussing the programming, so you will understand the concept why we need to use only synchronized area. So actually we need to get the lock of the particular thread. So once you get the lock of that thread, on the thread you can apply these methods. So why? Because if you are calling wait method, notify all methods, so these three methods will involve on the locking concept. These three methods will involve in the locking concept. If you want to release the lock, so we need to get the lock first. So if you want to perform the locking operations, you must perform from the synchronized area only. So two threads, if two threads want to communicate with each other, right? So in that case, so one way communication should be happen. If one thread is trying to send a message, another thread has to wait. If another thread is sending a message, the first thread has to wait. So that means the communication should be happen like one way. So that one way process will be done through this synchronization. So that's why you must get the lock of that object. To get the lock of that object, we must use the synchronization concept. Right. If you have any doubts by writing the program, you will understand. So by explaining the program. Right. Next point, if you are trying to call these methods without using synchronization area, so we will get runtime error saying that illegal monitor state exception. You are not supposed to call wait, notify all methods from the non-synchronized area. If you are trying to call from the non-synchronized area, so we will get a error. So runtime error saying that illegal monitor monitor state exception. So when you will get this illegal monitor state exception, so whenever you are calling the wait, notify all methods from a non-synchronized area, then only you will get this error. Right. So I hope you understand the concept. So two or more threads can communicate with each other by using wait, notify all methods. Wait, notify all methods are declared in object class, not in thread class. Why? Because so inter-thread communication should be happened through a common shared object. So in this case, the common shared object is object class. That's why they define these methods in object class. So inter-thread communication should be like a one-way communication. If one thread is interacting with the second thread must wait. And second thread is interacting with the first thread must be wait. So that means you need to apply synchronization concept here, right? So like applying the lock and releasing the lock, you have to maintain. So to maintain applying the lock and releasing the lock, that means acquiring the lock and releasing the lock, that should be happened through the synchronized area only. So that's why you must call these methods from a synchronized area only, right? So if you are trying to call these methods from a non-synchronized area, you will get illegal monitor state exception, right? Right. So if you are trying to apply these methods, you must get the lock of that class, right? 1 minute. లీటర్ తీసుకోమా లీటర్ తీసుకో తాగుతానే ఉండగా తీసుకో రోజు పోసి తీసుకోమను లీటర్ బాగా తీసుకోమను right. So once we call the wait method, what will happen? So once we call the wait method, so we are trying to call these methods in our programming: wait method, notify all method, right? So what will happen once we are trying to call wait method, notify method, notify all method? What will happen? So nothing great. First we need to get the lock of that object. Once we get the lock of that object, on top of the lock, if you apply wait method, then what will happen? Just it will release the lock and the thread will be entered into waiting state. So it will release the lock and the thread will be entered into waiting state. The same way notify and notify methods also, it will release as the lock, right? So these three methods are used to, so these three methods we will call from synchronized area, that means locking area. So inside the locking area, if you want to release the lock, then you can apply these methods. So what is the meaning of releasing the lock? We will understand with this program, right? Right. So we will try to understand with one example, right? So we'll try to discuss one example, like two threads are there, thread 1 and thread 2. So what the thread 1 task? So thread 1 is trying to calculate sum of n numbers. So what is the thread 2 is trying to do? So thread 2 will interact with the thread 1 and it will try to get the details of thread 1 and it will print the details. That is like sum of n numbers, the result will be printed as part of the thread 2. Right. So we have two threads. So thread 1 and thread 2. So we will start these two threads parallelly. So threads will start parallelly and the first thread will do the task and second thread will do the task. Right. So in this way, so first thread may be calculated up to suppose 1 to 100 numbers I want to print. So sum of 1 to 100 numbers. So before calculating the sum of 1 to 100 numbers, so the thread 2 might be completed the task. So by that time, it may be calculated 1 to 10 numbers only, maybe 1 to 20 numbers only, maybe 1 to 30 numbers only. But the second thread must wait until the first thread complete the task. Right. So we'll try to understand how the communication will be happening. Here, so I hope you know that life cycle. So I will try to explain. So what will happen when you call wait, notify all methods. Right. So I hope you know this. So this is the in thread life cycle, first state, born state. So whenever you call the start method, it will be entered into ready or runnable state. Once a thread allocates the CPU time, it will be entered into running state. So once the run method is completed, it will enter into dead state. Right. So I hope you know these four states. Now in between what we are trying to do, so this is born state. So second one is ready or runnable state. So third one is running state. So this is dead state. Right. So in between, so we are trying to call wait method, notify method, and notify all methods. where these methods will come into the picture. Right. So from the run method only, from the run method, you need to call some business logic, and that business logic must be work on locking concept. So from run method, you will call some business logic. That business logic will work on locking concept. Right. So that means once you acquire the lock, suppose one class is there, inside the class, you return some business logic. So to execute that business logic, first you need to get the lock of that class. So on top up after applying the lock, you can perform the business implementation. Right. So here, if you apply any of these methods, sorry, either if you apply, so any of these methods means maybe wait methods only. So here you can apply wait methods only, not notify all methods here. So you have three wait methods. You can apply any of these wait methods. Wait method with some milliseconds, and wait method with milliseconds and nanoseconds. Right. So if you apply any of these methods on top of locked object, so here you don't have normal object, you have a, you will call these methods, sorry, so you will call these methods from a synchronized area. So synchronized area means here the locking concept is applied, right? I hope you know. So synchronization method, synchronization block we discuss. So synchronization concept means, so it is having the lock of that particular class. So it is having the lock, first already it is having the lock. So maybe this is the class level lock or object level lock, that is based on the requirement. So now you have the lock. So you have a lock, you are trying to perform some logic, right? So on top of this, if you apply the wait methods on top of the lock, on top of this means on top of this lock, if you apply wait methods, then what will happen? The lock will be released. So if you apply wait method, any of these wait methods, now what will happen? The lock will be released. And the thread, so and the thread will be entered into waiting state. Right? I hope you are getting the point. So here, so you will create one object, on top of it you will apply start method. So start method will perform low level activities like registering your thread with the thread scheduler and allocating the CPU time. So once the low level activities is completed, and once it gets the CPU time, then it will enter into running state. Right. So those low level activities will be happening inside the ready or runnable state. Once that is completed, it will enter into run method, and it is trying to execute run method, that is called running state. So from that running state, so that will be based on your requirement, you can perform the logic. So in my case, so what I am trying to do, I am trying to calculate sum of n numbers. Whenever I am trying to calculate sum of n numbers, so other persons should not disturb me. Other person should not disturb me. So in that case, what I will do, I will apply synchronization. So that means I will get the lock. On top of that lock, I will perform my task. Once my task is completed, then I will release that lock and I will finish my work. So that is a synchronization concept. But now we are trying to learn inter-thread communication. Now in my case, two threads are there. In my case, two threads are there. So first T1 thread, consider T1 thread. So what the three T1 thread has to do? What the T1 thread has to do? First it will start the work. Then while performing the work, it can apply the lock. It will apply the lock and it will try to perform the task. But the task is depending on other person's task. Okay, try to understand. Right? So T1 thread is there. So what the T1 thread is doing, it's applied lock on that particular object and it is trying to perform some task. Right? So while performing the task, it requires it requires another thread's data. Right? So it requires another thread data. So in that case, what it has to do, it must be in waiting state. It has to give the time to another thread. So if they are working on same object, then it has to release the lock also. So in this case, we will apply the wait method. So if you apply wait method on T1 thread, what will happen? The T1 thread releases this lock and the T1 thread will be entered into waiting state so that the T2 thread get the chance to execute it and it will execute the task. It will complete the task. So once the task of T2 thread is completed, the T2 thread has to give the notification to T1 thread. So once again, so I have two threads. So one thread is trying to print sum of n numbers. The second thread is trying to calculate sum of n numbers. So first thread is trying to print sum of n numbers. The second thread is trying to calculate sum of n numbers. But both are working on same thread. But both are working on a same thread. In that case, these two threads must communicate with each other. This communication should be happened through wait, notify all methods. Why? Because they are trying to share a single object. You are trying to share a single thread between two objects. That's why you must communicate with wait, notify all methods. Right. So in this case, T2 thread, what it is trying to do, it has to get the lock. Then it has to perform, that means calculate sum of n numbers. Then it has to notify the T1 thread. So try to understand. So T1 thread and T2, both are, two threads are there. Two threads will start the work simultaneously. So first T1 thread is trying to get the lock. Once it is getting the lock, it is trying to print sum of n numbers. If it is directly printed sum of n numbers, it may be printed 0 only. By that time, maybe T2 thread may not be calculated sum of n numbers. First T1 thread, what it has to do? First, it has to interact with the T2 thread. So ask the T2 thread either it is completed calculation of sum of n numbers or not. So that means from T1 to T2 there must be a call. From T1 to T2 there must be a call through the common shared object. Right. So how that call will be happened? The call will be happened through the wait method. So what will happen in thread 1 if you are calling wait method? So what the T1 thread will happen if you call the wait method? So whatever the lock it is applied, the lock will be released and the thread will be entered into waiting state. So up to what time the thread will be entered into waiting state? Now in this case, the T1 thread will be in waiting state. Right. Up to what time the thread will be in waiting state? If you are applying second method, the thread will be in waiting state up to these many number of milliseconds. If you are applying third method, the thread will be waiting up to these many number of milliseconds and these many number of nanoseconds. If you apply wait method, first wait method, then up to what time the thread will be in waiting state. So the thread is given a chance, that means that releases the lock and it is entered into waiting state. If you release the lock, the second thread will get the lock and it will perform the task. After completing the task, it has to give the notification to T1 thread. Not only T1 thread who is waiting on that thread, on that object. So from T2 thread, you need to give the notification to T1 thread. So first T1 is trying to interact with the T2 by applying wait method on its. So once the T2 thread is executed, it has to give the notification to T1 by applying notify all methods. So here, so from this state 2, it will come here. So when it will come here, so if you apply notification or the time is over, or if any person is interrupted the thread, in that case the thread will be moved from waiting state to ready or runnable state. After that it will finish the work. Concentrate. So when the waiting thread will be activated, so first case, once it is the waiting time is completed, that means if you call wait method, wait method. If you call any of these two methods, if the time is completed, that means if the time is expired, if the time is expired, so the thread will be moved from waiting state to ready or runnable state. Or if someone else is called interrupt method, if waiting thread is interrupted, if waiting thread is interrupted, maybe it will enter from waiting state to ready or runnable state. Or if the waiting thread got notification, if the waiting thread got notification, or if it is get the lock, then it will be entered into ready or runnable state. So in the third case, how it will get the notification? Who has to give the notification to the waiting thread? So in this case, second thread has to give the notification. Right. So how it will give the notification? By calling notify or notify all methods. Right. So we will try to understand this entire concept with the programming. Right. So here you will be having one shared object. Communication should be happened between these two. Right. So we'll try to discuss this. Right. So any doubts? Maybe some people might be left. Right. No problem. right? So what I will do, I will write a thread. I'm trying to create a thread. How to create a thread? Just write a class extends thread class, right? So I created one class, thread class. So in this class, what is my intention? Calculate sum of n numbers. So this is a thread class. So where I need to write the business implementation, I will write the business implementation maybe from the run method, or I can write the implementation somewhere else and I can call it from the run method only, right? So from the thread class, the execution starts from run method only. Run method is must. So I'm writing the run method. So run method is, so inside the run method, I need to implement the business logic. So what is my business logic? Need to calculate sum of n numbers. I hope you already know this logic. So use for loop. So sum of n numbers. So that is 1 to n numbers. I less than. Okay, I'm not reading the input from the keyboard. I'm trying to calculate 1 to 100 numbers. Sum of 1 to 100 numbers. So I plus plus. Then so I need to calculate the total. So for this, I will take one variable, some integer, sum equal to 0. Right? So I'm taking instance variable, not a local variable. Why? Because I want to share this variable with another class. So that's why I took this variable as an instance variable. If it is a local variable, the scope will be up to that method only. Right. So now I'm trying to calculate sum. So now I'm trying to calculate sum, that is sum equal to sum plus I. Right. So in between, so if you want to print, so how much it is calculated, you can use this statement system.out.println calculating sum equal to plus sum. So I'm trying to print every time what is the sum. So first 1 plus 1, 2, 1 plus 2 plus 2, 4, like that. I need to calculate all the sum. Right? So this is a normal logic. So after that, just before I will inside this method, I will try to print some statement saying that sum of n numbers calculation is over. So inside the run method, so I calculated sum of n numbers. After that, I am printing one statement. So calculation of sum is over. So who is completed? Sum of n numbers class. Calculation is over. Right. So now this should be happened. That means, okay, I will write another class, right, which is having main method. So I will write another class. So I'm writing a class. Class name is something ABCD. You can take any name, that is up to you. Right? So in this class, what I will do, I will write main method. So consider who will execute the main method. One thread will execute the main method. So in this case, I am not writing one more thread class. So I am considering main thread is a one of the my thread. Okay. So main thread is one of my thread. So what I am trying to do, first I will try to start this run method. So how to call this run method? This is a thread class. We just create an object to this class and call start method. Right. I created object. I am trying to call the start method. So that means start method will call run method. So I hope you are getting the point. So this is in new state. So on top of the new state, so if you call start method, so it will enter into ready or runnable state. It will perform low level activities like registering the thread with the thread scheduler, allocating the CPU time. Then it will try to call run method. Right. So inside the run method, so what we need to do, we need to apply this synchronization. Okay, we need to apply this synchronization. So why? Because to perform inter-thread communication, so we require this synchronization block. We need to call wait method, notify all methods. Right. So synchronization concept we need to apply. Right. So you started this thread. So what the thread will do? So it will go and it is trying to calculate the sum of 100 numbers, and it will try to print this one. So as of now, just try to try to compile and execute. What will happen? Right. So your file name is abcd.java. You compiled it, you executed it. It is calculated 1 to 100 numbers. So the sum is, it was not printed the sum. What is the sum? So sum of n numbers class calculation is over. So you got the output. That is okay. But now what is your intention? Calculation is completed by this thread. Sum must be printed from this thread. From this thread means from the main thread. Okay. This is also executing by one thread. That is the main thread. So from the main thread, you need to call the sum of n numbers. Right. So I am trying to print who is executing this. So I know main thread is executing. That's why I'm writing directly main thread is executing. Right. So if you want, you can call thread dot current thread dot get name method. It will print the thread name. So now what we required? So in sum of n numbers, there is a sum variable. You need to print the sum variable from here. So how to print? You already having reference. So call this reference and try to print sum. So I'm trying to print the sum of, right? So observe here. Right. So what is this line? So who will execute this line? Main thread will execute this line. Who will execute this line? Main thread will execute this line. So what is the statement? Main thread is calling sum of n numbers class sum variable. Right. So how to call? Reference name dot variable name. So if you try to print this, what will happen? See, observe here. Compile, execute it. Right. So where is this line? Main thread is calling. Where is this line? See here. Main thread is calling sum of n numbers. By that time, the sum is 1 only. But means the main thread is not waiting until the second thread calculates sum of 100 numbers. It is not waiting. What is our intention now? We need to wait for the second thread has to complete the task. Then second thread has to notify us. That means the main thread and the another thread must communicate with each other. So this communication must be happened through the wait, notify all methods. So if you are not calling like this, you will get this irregular output only. Right. Why? Because main thread is already completing the task. So by that time, child thread is not at all completed. So in this case, first you need to inform the child thread. So until you complete the task, I will be in waiting state. Once you done the task, please intimate me. Please notify me. So if you want to perform this communication, the communication must be happened through the shared object. So in this case, the shared object is thread object. So in this case, this object, we'll see. So that means first, I am trying the code. Observe here, synchronized. Synchronize. Observe here what I am passing. This is the synchronized block. Observe what I am passing. So synchronized block I applied here. On top of which one? B. Not B here. S N N. Right. So on top of which one? One object. So which class object? Sum of n numbers object. So I applied synchronization. That means once the main thread get the object of sum of n numbers, it will be locked. That means another person is not allowed to perform synchronized methods or synchronized blocks on this object. Right. So first it is getting the lock. After getting the lock, so main thread is executing printed. What the main thread has to do? Main thread has to wait. Main thread has to wait until the first thread, second thread will complete the task. That means calculating sum of n numbers. It has to wait. So how to make it wait? So it is already locked. So first you need to release the lock and it will enter into waiting state. For that, you just apply wait method. So if you call like this, what will happen? The thread will release the lock. That means whatever the lock is applied, the lock will be released and the thread will be entered into waiting state. Which thread will be entered into waiting state? Main thread will be entered into waiting state. Right. So main thread will be entered into waiting state. Right. So after this, main thread is in waiting state. The line number thread 33 will not be executed. Then when it has to execute, once the child thread complete the task, the child thread has to give the notification. After that, it will execute. Right. So here you are applying wait method. Whenever you are applying wait method, you must call that wait method from a synchronized block only. Not only block, from the method also. Otherwise, you will get illegal monitor state exception. And the wait method will throw interrupted exception. So that's why you must surround this one either try catch blocks or you can use throws keyword beside the main method. Interrupted exception. Right. Save the file. Okay. Now you call the lock, you release the lock, you entered into waiting state. So now who has to get this lock? Somebody has to notify you. So that person has to get the lock. So who is the somebody? This guy. That's why you must perform this logic from the synchronized block. So I'm applying here synchronized. So I'm applying this. So this means current class. Current class means sum of n numbers. Right? So here also you are applying lock on sum of n numbers. Here also you are applying lock on sum of n numbers. Right. If you are unable to understand, we will discuss with one more example, no problem. Right. So first complete that, close the synchronized method, so synchronized block. Right. So now first you are getting the lock. After that you are calculating the sum. So you are saying your task is completed. Once your task is completed, what you have to do? You need to notify it. Okay. You need to notify it. So how to notify? To whom you need to notify? The people who are waiting for this object. For them you need to notify. So how to apply notify? You can apply this dot notify in this way, or you can directly call notify. That will apply on the current object only. Now try to observe, right? So after this you calculated some. Okay, sum equal. Right. So now observe here. So compile the code, execute the code. Okay, if this screen is going up, so I will decrease the size. So that means I will calculate 1 to 50 members only. 1 to 50, sum of 50 numbers. So compile the code, try to execute it. Observe here, first main thread started, main thread is executing. So where is this code? So from the main class, main method started execution. It's created thread object. It started thread. That means main thread is executing and the second thread is also executing. That is sum of n numbers thread is also executing. Now at line number 30, both threads are executing. Line number 30, both threads are executing. One is main thread and second one is sum of n numbers thread. Right. So in these two people, first who will lock it? Who will lock the sum of n numbers object? Who will lock the first sum of n numbers object? So whenever you started it, it has to register the low level activities, then it has to get the CPU time. So it is having some time, but the main thread is already registered, main thread is already started, so main thread will get the lock. So main thread is applying lock on this sum of n numbers, and it will lock it, and it is trying to execute this line. Right. So main thread is executing, that's why you are getting this line. Main thread is executing. So after that, you are calling wait method. So what you will do, you can add one more statement. Main thread is calling wait method. It will release the lock. It will enter into waiting state. Right. So I'm trying to compile the code once again. Trying to execute it. So observe. So main thread is executing. So it is calling main thread is executing. So it is calling wait method. So it will release the lock and it will enter into waiting state. So after this, the lock got released and the main thread is stuck at this line only. 36 line only. Main thread is in waiting state now. So by this time, the lock got released. The lock will be hand over to this person. That is sum of n numbers thread. So it will be hand over here. Then it will calculate sum of n numbers. So every time it will print the sum. After that, the task is completed. Once the task is completed, it has to notify the remaining thread. Remaining thread means main thread in this case. Once it is apply the notification, so the thread who is in waiting state, they will wake up and they will complete this line number 37. Right. See here, so it is calculated sum of 50 numbers. So once the calculation of sum of 50 numbers is over, it will notify it. So sum of n numbers calculation is over, then it will notify it. After notifying, the main thread is executing remaining part. It is printing the sum of 50 numbers. Suppose if you are not calling the notify method, what will happen? Suppose if you are not notifying it, what will happen? Observe here. So compile the code, execute the code, right? So it is printed. Why it is printed? Why it is printed? The lock got released. So the first thread task is completed. This sum of n numbers thread, a task is completed. Once the task is completed, it will release the lock. Okay, if you don't notify, if the method is completed, it will release the lock. Suppose if you have some other lines of code here, suppose some 1 lakh lines of code is there, 1 lakh lines of code is there, until 1 lakh lines of code is executing, the lock will not be released. Right? Until 1 lakh lines of code is completed, if the lock is not released, a second thread, main thread will be in waiting state only. So instead of making that wait up to those many number of lines execution, so you have to notify it. If you notify it, automatically it will release the lock and it will execute the remaining part. Right. So you can use notify method or notify all methods. In this case, only one thread is waiting. Maybe in some other cases, more than one thread is waiting. If you want to notify the remaining more than one threads at a time, you can use notify all methods. If you want to wake up only one thread, you can use notify method. Right. So this is about inter-thread communication. How two threads will communicate with each other by using notify all methods, and wait method. So you must apply this method from the synchronized area only. If you are trying to apply from non-synchronized area, you will get illegal monitor state exception. Right? So here this must be happening on a common shared object only, not on different objects. Right? So if you have any doubts, we will discuss in the evening class with one more example. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me, no problem. Right. So we will come up with one more example and we will try to discuss how the inter-thread communication will be happen. Right. Then we will discuss deadlock and daemon thread. So by evening session, we will close the multi-threading concept. Right. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, you can leave the meeting. No problem.